We're back!
We're back.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
This is definitely not the same day.
No, we didn't record 2 in 1
No, we didn't record 2 in 1 day. Like, who would do that?
We're not getting ahead of ourselves.
Shoot. By now, you know, we have episode 1 and episode 2 out.
Episode 1, yeah, episode 2 will be out.
Review's out very soon. You know, we think we had some very interesting things that we had. We had a pretty good guest, Anston. Shout out Anston again.
Shout out Anson. He was really good.
That was a really good one.
Brought up a lot of good topics.
Exactly. And I hope that on this next topic that we're about to do, that we hope we bring up a lot of things, which is
this one might be my favorite one yet.
Honestly, this one might be my favorite one as well. Even just a little close second to Marvel.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, for anyone in the gaming world, we will be going over
video games.
Yeah, the one and only big kind of branded type stuff right now.
All kinds of video games. We'll see what we get into.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into something good. But me and Brandon would like to say on this podcast, we are very, very open to anybody who has interesting thoughts on what we like to talk about. So, without further ado, we have brought up a very, very special guest today, in my opinion. Brandon only met him a couple months ago, but I've known him for almost half a year already.
You might have heard him name dropped in episode 1.
Oh yeah, he wasn't here for episode 2, but he's making his grand return. The one, the only, my roommate, Josh Pendley.
Welcome, Josh.
I have arrived.
Great to have you on the show.
So, Josh, how's your day going?
It's going pretty good. Got off work in time for the pod, so
There you go.
we have arrived.
Of course, we've been here. So, Josh, as you know, we wanted you on the last one because but we feel like you actually can give some really good insight on this upcoming one as well. How long have you been playing video games for?
Since I was 3, so about 17 years.
Do you remember what your first one was?
Pokemon Ruby.
Ooh.
Okay.
So you were into like the good classic type stuff.
Yeah, I was a little hobgoblin for that fucking game. I would relentlessly just like play that nonstop. I was that kid that would like pretend to be asleep and just like hide my DS under my pillow and get
You're
schlumped.
doing all that now.
And then I was just grinding IVs for my Pokemon.
What's your favorite Pokemon game? Have you played all of them? Or?
Well, up until the recent ones, I haven't touched those yet. I never had a Switch to just like mess around with it.
Yeah,
But
sure.
definitely Pokemon White was my favorite.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
See, me personally, I actually never really got it. Well, I played a few of them, but I never went all out to like keep on getting all of them because honestly, like I knew that that's a lot. I mean, they've advanced or they added like some few different things here and there. Of course, like new characters and all that stuff. But I just thought, for me as a gamer, it was a lot for me just to keep on getting the game again. Like, I mean, especially whenever I was little, I don't think I really had the money to keep on going and buying Pokemon games. Especially, I remember I had a DS. It was actually I say it was a tan Zelda DS. It was like I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
I remember the model.
Yeah, so that was really cool that I used to play that. I think the first game I got with that DS was it Zelda something time?
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time. It's a classic.
Dude, I used to play that a lot. But like honestly, I didn't. But like I was little, of course. I didn't know what the hell was going on in the game. I just did it just because,
Just playing it.
And again,
Smashing pots and getting the rupees.
Getting rubies.
and that's how it kind of was whenever I was little in general. Would you say like did you just played the games just because, right, Brandon?
Yeah, there's a lot of games I want to say that I played, growing up like 6, 7, and then kind of replaying them when I got older, like 10, 11, 12. Even then, I'm like, damn, like these are kind of fun. But even now, I think back sometimes to a lot of games that I did play, and I'm like, I like really want to replay them just so I can actually play through it and actually like pay attention to the story of it, just playing through it and all that. Because again, like you were saying, as a kid, you just play it. You're not processing really what you're playing. You're just running.
I don't know about you guys, but in any video game growing up until I was maybe like 9 or 10, I was that guy that just skipped every bit of dialogue.
Really?
I did not care. I just wanted to play the game.
I just thought the cinematic parts of anything, like the cutscenes or whatever, I just watched it just to watch it. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I think the first game I really, I guess the first game that I kind of really paid attention to dialogue was Modern Warfare 2, and again, that's an amazing game. That's up there. That's very, very up there, especially with not just
at least.
not just with the campaign, but also with the multiplayer as well. That was really good. Just online play. And I guess what made online play better, of course, was the chats But I mean,
that's an experience.
That's an experience.
That forged a lot of motherfuckers in there.
Yeah, if you weren't out there for that time, I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be some major shock value. I did not play any of the Modern Warfares.
Wow,
that's a cardinal sin, man.
I did not play. I'm not gonna lie.
If you guys really want to know, Brandon is still learning about everything.
I apparently am. I'm late to the game one.
Bro, you need comics, anime, you need games,
I need
bro.
to up my knowledge.
Time for a new refresher.
My very first COD, I think I did play Black Ops 1 in my life. It was Black Ops 1
Which is
when I started.
Respectable.
I didn't play Black Ops 2. I didn't own it. I only ever played it whenever I would go to a friend's house and they had it, then we would, play split screen or whatever.
Brandon,
that's the only time I played it.
You say one more thing that messes up this podcast, but
Here's
we're gonna have to shut it off.
Here's
bro.
the next part, bro. This might be what makes everyone shut it off right here. Please don't, by the way. The first one that I got into after Black Ops 1 was Call of Duty Ghosts. That was the one.
That's a slept-on game.
Yeah, that's slept on.
Back then, it was hated.
No, it was pretty hated.
It was.
I don't want to say the most, but it's probably on the bottom.
Josh, in your opinion, what do you think is slept on about it? What do you think? Honestly,
a lot of people hated the campaign.
Yeah, because it was really short.
Yeah, which I understand. Like it wasn't on par with Black Ops 1 or 2. Let's be real here. The whole story of like Mason and whatnot, fantastic, like untouchable. Yeah. That's always going to be up there in like one of the greatest games of all time.
Right.
But Ghost just had like a lot of like forgettable names, and they just kind of threw like the villain at you, and it was just like, yeah, he's kind of bad. Like you got to kill him now, because he killed the other guys, and you're like, oh okay, like why not? And it didn't really delve really far into like what people expected from like a Black Ops story mode. And then especially people hated that multiplayer on that game.
Yeah.
I was one of the rare few where I enjoyed it, but that's because I would abuse that system so bad, and I was always that kid, like I would cross map noob to you just because I was sweaty enough to memorize where to hit it. That throwing knives, mollies, I would hit you from anywhere, but I made so many people rage.
And again, I guess you could say like in our time, especially from Call of Duty being back then, Call of Duty being back now, it's still like would you say it's one of the top platforms where everyone just joins in and just plays together and all that?
Yeah.
COD?
In
general? Yeah.
So like even I know there are a lot of sweats out there. Shout out the sweats, right? But also shout out the ones that just play for fun and that aren't really good. I'm one of them.
Fuck out my lobby.
God damn, yeah. Whenever I hop into a game of just COD, I'm the lowest of anything. I just can't.
I remember when you booted up the game to play with me for Warzone, and you were like level 2 or something like that.
Bro, I don't play Call of Duty like that again because I don't play it because I've never been good at it in the past before. I think the only time I've ever been good, whenever I focused on it more, when I was little, Modern Warfare 2. After that, I just kind of like lost it, But that's our COD and Sense again. Multiplayer is great from time to time. So a lot of the futuristic CODs not really.
It started with Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, they're pretty forgettable. Infinite Warfare, I think, is the most forgotten. I think the most hated.
It is.
Oh, it is the most hated.
That game was awful.
Let's kind of like let's get rid of that.
COD.
Of that Infinite, yeah.
Yeah, we can erase that from history, and I don't think anyone would mind.
Yeah, for real. So Brandon, what's your favorite game?
My favorite game?
Yeah.
Just
or game or game series, anything like what do you like?
I guess it kind of depends if we're talking of all time. One that I can sit down and play like no matter what. Like if you gave me an old gen console and gave me this game, it would be the Star Wars, either of the Force Unleashed games.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yes,
fantastic series.
Those were so great. I want a remastered version of those so bad.
Sidetrack. I remember there was a point where they did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think wasn't there a point where it was supposed to be canon at a point, but then they said, "Nah, this shit ain't canon."
It was supposed to be, but that guy, Starkiller, which was the main character,
he's OP as fuck.
He was so OP. Yeah, he would have been the strongest, like, just force user.
I remember
person.
whenever the game first came out, I played the hell out of the first one. The second one, I loved just as much, but that first one, wow, that was amazing.
That first
it makes
one
you
was
feel
fantastic.
so good playing it. Like, you just, I don't know. It just
I'm in the
feels
rare
so
few. I preferred the second game.
Second game was pretty good though.
Like, I was a guy, I was like hardest difficulty possible, and just like button mashing until I gave myself carpal tunnel.
Yeah, it was so fun. Yeah, that's.
Well, since we're on kind of like the topic of the Force Unleashed, I mean, what did y'all think of the past Star Wars game that came out, Fallen Order? Did you play it, Josh?
I did not. I saw the trailers and I saw how like glitchy the game was, and I didn't touch it.
I'm not gonna lie, playing it doesn't feel very smooth.
No, it really doesn't.
It does feel a little clunky. It's okay though. I do like a lot of the mechanics and stuff. I don't call it the greatest Star Wars game ever.
No. It's a good storyline. I like it. I like the storyline. You beat the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm replaying it right now.
I'm replaying it again. I did like a whole kind of just like run through with this story. Now actually like open world games like that, I really like to go in there and kind of collect everything now. But story's beautiful. 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Right after Order 66 happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's
pretty good.
I think I liked it because they really put thought and effort into the storyline. I like that. Even they even brought characters that you wouldn't expect. Like what's the dude from? Man, people are gonna hate me if I don't know this. Star Wars fans are gonna hate me if I don't know this.
I might not know it so much.
Have you guys seen Rogue One?
Yeah.
Well, who's the African American dude, the black guy, the old dude where they find him and he dies with the sandstorm. You know what I'm talking about? You remember his name?
That entire movie is unforgettable to me, man.
Yeah.
No.
It's like
he pops up in the game though, like whenever you're riding one of the ATs, right? Is that what it's called? Yeah. He's driving one of them. I forgot what the heck it's called, but he's also in the Clone Wars as well. But also for those who I mean, if you haven't played the game, then you know. If not, spoilers of Darth Vader makes an appearance towards the end of the story, which is he just fucks you up at the end, which is kind of like they never give you like you know, like you can beat all these other Sith characters. Darth Vader comes and play, you're fucked unless you're Luke Skywalker, you know?
Yeah, basically how it goes.
So, but yeah, I feel like that. I mean, also we can't forget, I guess you could say one of, well, before I mention that one, what do y'all think about the Battlefront franchise, both 1 and 2?
That was classic, yeah.
It was a good classic game. I especially preferred the like little like celebratory game modes they would do for like in honor of stuff, you know, like the whole like Ewok hunt that's pretty much just Vietnam simulator.
That one is good.
That
one is good.
That's pretty fun. That or the Youngling hunt.
Damn.
That's pretty funny.
That
one was a good chuckle.
Younglings? Shout out Ewan McGregor. That and did you ever play the Old Republic games?
I didn't like.
I played. Yeah, I played.
They're remastering that.
Yeah, they are remastering that. I remember playing it when I was little.
Weren't those the ones that were on like the original Xbox?
Yes.
Like not even like the 360,
Yeah,
just like
original.
regular Xbox.
Yeah.
That was before my gaming time.
I played it, but I never finished it because I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, makes sense. I feel it.
Yeah, so there's that, and again, as I guess you could kind of say one of Star Wars is like in the gaming industry kind of best selling. Can't forget about the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga.
Oh, of course.
Complete Saga.
Wow. Now, when we're talking about childhood, that was childhood right there. Just like
grinding that game for hours, just every character.
Exactly.
You get every what were those? The mini kits.
Yeah.
The mini kit requires sacrifice.
Yes.
If you were not a homie jumping off that cliff for that one specific mini kit, I do not want to talk to you, bro. You are a savage.
Just walking around as a gonk in free play.
Oh yeah, I figured that was so. And we see that. I mean, it hasn't fallen off since we years have come, people still go back and play it.
You got that new one coming out.
Yeah, the Skywalker Saga, which I know Josh has an opinion of the last three.
The sequels.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that another time in the podcast, but I mean, let's
Maybe
just
we'll do a Star Wars theme.
Yeah, we might have to do that too.
For like a May.
Kind of just like
for a May 4th.
Oh yeah, I mean, we do have a couple months to we do have a couple months to get prepared for that. But since we're on the topic of Legos, I think just Lego games in general is an all around fun to play. You know, family, friend, whatever age that you want to play, it actually comes around. Like I'm gonna be honest, I still play Lego games to this day, even the most recent ones. I think the last
the DC villains one.
So I'm gonna buy that one. I was like, that's the next one I want to buy. And it's kind of weird how like whenever we were little, we had I think my childhood of Legos was Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Like those were the two games I used to play. And Indiana Jones, that was fun to play.
The Lord of the Rings one.
Lord of the Rings one was a great playthrough
That's a
as well.
classic. That we can't diss the Lego Batman one. Like,
No.
The first one, bro.
Yeah.
And then we always just get like all that like type of dialogue, whatever. When it comes to Batman 2, the first Lego games that actually put voice dialogue in there, and from then, Lego games have been more funnier. They add more value into the game of the story arc and what's really going on and stuff. Like you kind of just have to, instead of like pulling down all the Legos are pulling out pictures saying, "Oh, this is what we're gonna do," and all this stuff, and it makes it easier for, I guess the Star Wars and the Indiana Jones fans, because if you watch the movies, then you know what the hell's going on in the Lego games. Other Lego games, you didn't really get to understand it, but now with the dialogue, I played honestly, in my opinion, my favorite Lego game is Lego Marvel Superheroes. Very the very first one.
Okay.
Very
I
unique.
can respect that.
Very unique storyline in it. I love, we have, of course, the Avengers in it, Spider-Man, X-Men. It was good because they didn't really have to do anything with kind of the rights of everything going on with the actual world of superheroes. Right. So they just kind of mixed it in and gave it back to the people. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, ooh, that one hurt. Yeah. That one hurt. That took me a while. Well, again, I started playing that game whenever my first year in college. Took me a while to do because I think they just tried to put too much in the game. Yeah. And they left a lot of superheroes out from the first game that should have been in there, and it just wasn't my favorite. But Batman 3, Lego Batman 3 was great. And I heard really good things about DC villains that I really want to play about it. But
pretty good. I played. I think for a while it was on a discount, and I got it. It's pretty fun.
Really?
You can like fully customize your character. Like at the beginning, at one point you kind of play as like just this generic. I think like I'm probably saying this totally wrong, but this generic like figure. And then at one point early on in the story, you can fully customize like cape, like you can customize everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Full customization.
Kind of like how in the complete saga you could run around as Yoda with the slave Leia.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually like that about
the
Lego games, how like you're able to like customize your own character and give yourself your own powers, and that's why I kind of like the superhero games as well. Like you're kind of unlimited, or you're unlimited to whatever you can do in that. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to play that. I can't say I'm really excited to see this new Star Wars one because so far the gameplay that they have of it, they just keep on advancing the Lego games to where
pretty much
it's pretty,
it looks so like a lot smoother, looks a lot more animated that I'm sure people would want.
So yeah, so that's just Legos, Who would have known? Grown as men still like loving Lego games, It's for everyone, of course.
They are for everyone.
Well, everyone until you're 99.
Yeah, until you're 99. Sorry, we can't forget about that's the cutoff point.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, talking about Legos. I guess we can talk about my favorite game, which so growing up, of course, my very first console was the original Xbox, and I hate you, Brandon. For those who don't watch the video and watch, Brandon's nodding his head right now because
I never had an Xbox. I've been PlayStation game my entire life.
Again, I use both, so I can't really differ in between, but. Favorite game is the Halo series. For me, it's again it's my favorite. I'm not saying it's great. You know, like there are some downfalls to it later on into the franchise, but Halo 1, of course, Halo just brought a new feeling to a whole bunch of things that, like, you know, couldn't really, Call of Duty and Battlefield really couldn't compare up to it. And in my opinion, Halo 2 it was alright. It wasn't my favorite, honestly. I think they were trying to test something new and it didn't really go out as well. Halo 3. Oh Lord, I love Halo 3. I remember I used to play the hell out of that. That's gotta be the best one, right? Mm-hmm. Story arc and just play through of it. I remember do you remember that big level with the flood in there? Like, it was kind of close towards it might have been the last level or close towards the end.
When you like raid it with the other elites.
Yeah. That's pretty.
That's I think when you're going on the way to kill the prophet.
Yeah. That's pretty fucking scary. You ain't gonna lie. Like whenever you play it little, like you're kind of scared out of those little fuckers.
That shit gave me nightmares.
No, for
real.
real.
That first game, and the fucking, I think it's the library. I think the mission's called.
Yep.
That shit's terrifying. And then nowadays, it's still fucking terrifying when you go and load that shit up on Lasso, bro. I don't know if you've played that at all, dude. That shit is beyond terrifying.
What?
Like, legendary all skulls on for those of you that don't know or maybe don't play Halo like that. But that is pure, unadulterated punishment in every way, shape, and form.
All skulls on in general just really fucks you over.
Yeah. There is a secret achievement, I believe, that was put into the game for if you can beat the library mode on Lasso in like 6 hours, because that's technically like a speed run of the game.
What?
And that's like the second mission.
God.
Which is just, it's literally like Dark Souls, like before Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Like, it is, it's beautiful and it's that's the best way.
Everything's having they just hated Josh all at once.
Reminiscing on how like traumatizing yet like
chaotic it was.
Exactly. You could get some funny ass shit. Like explosions would be like doubled and then like fucking you can do all kinds of shit.
Dude, anything with that. Yeah, I'm freaking those skulls ain't no joke. I think that what I liked about it is actually searching for the skulls in general too. Yeah. Actually, like I think Halo 2 had a lot of you have to jump like all over like this place to try to get the skull, and like there was a lot of other Easter eggs. I know in Halo 2 there's actually, if you're able to grab a Banshee in it was one of the beginning of the missions. Mm-hmm. You can fly it up to like a part where it was either a building or a ledge, and there's a gun in that you can only use in that part of the campaign. Mm-hmm. I forgot what gun it was though, but it was there, and I thought that was a pretty cool Easter egg or whatever. But then you get to use it in Halo 3. Halo Reach though, can't forget about that.
Untouchable game.
That's wow. Basically, I guess you could kind of say it's the beginning of the arc of Halo. Mm-hmm. So kind of a foundation, but not the foundation of it.
What's your favorite mission in that game, Doc? I'm about to judge you hard.
The one where I think his name. Oh, when the mission where George drops you.
That is the wrong answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. My favorite to this day, bro, is the one where you are like going and like you find like the little lady in the fucking lab or whatever, and then the elite fucking jumps you, and then you go and you fucking raid the fucking place with George. And it's just like George fucking waddling in there.
Oh yeah.
The thing.
It's one of the beginning.
And then it's completely like dark mission.
Oh yeah,
and
night vision.
You're just like fucking night vision, and you're like hunting this thing, and it's like 2 elites at the end with energy swords, and it's just that fucking like guitar music. That's playing. Dude. You're fucking watching George just waddle his ass in there, bro. That's the best mission, dude.
God,
That
this is a great video content.
For all of you listening on Spotify,
Josh just had a damn spasm attack on Halo, bro.
I wish you could see that.
I did a little waddle to feel that.
If you know how George walks in Halo
Yeah.
Reach, Josh just did that shit.
Because he's like the biggest Spartan ever. So I think
He was-
he's 7'4" or something like
Yeah,
that.
bro.
Ridiculous. But
he was
like
the first death,
300
right?
pounds.
Of all the nobles.
I don't.
I think George
First
was,
or second,
he
one of
went
the two.
He was the first. Again, you get a real good connection with those characters in that game.
Yeah,
which,
absolutely.
Which makes you like really feel bad whenever all them go. So we have.
Emil had like the worst death.
Yeah. Hey, but he went out like a champ.
That's my boy.
That's my boy.
The motherfucker was like,
It was-
"Man, fuck you."
It was George dropping us off because he had to self-destruct the ship. Next one was, I believe it was, what's her name? Cat. That was tough.
I don't know, which she just got sniped by a
She
fucking
got
jackal, man.
sniped. Brandon doesn't know what the
I
hell
don't
is
know
going on.
what.
That's why we gotta do it.
No,
once.
This is
you're
all
like,
gibberish to
At
me
the
right
end
now.
of the mission, I think it is, right? Or is it like in the
Yeah, so they're running to the elevator.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
we gotta
running,
get to
they're
the,
like,
and then she
oh, we
just
finally-
sniped through the head, bro.
Yeah, they finally got through a facility like filled with Covenant, and they're like running through. They're like, finally, we made it. And then you get to like this little corridor, and then as you're running, it's just pop right in the head.
She just
Died by a fucking needle rifle.
That's crazy.
And so you just watch. And she was the one I was connected to least because they like
Yeah,
didn't
they
give her
were.
a lot of exposition.
So there was that.
So
and
it like didn't hit hard. And then the fucking captain I think was next.
excuse
And
me.
it's like he like had a pelican, and you guys were getting raided by scarabs as you're like driving down in the desert.
And he just
And
crashed.
he's like,
and shit.
Well, good luck, guys. Like,
And he just fucking
I'm doing
went.
this for the team, and he drives it into the side of a scarab to protect you guys.
What?
And
Yeah,
it's
to
like,
be
you're
fair-
in an underpass, like watching him in the sky because the scarab is like climbing over to
He
you, and he's just like, "Well, Noble 6, I'm out." Boom.
he said he did get shot before he landed, so he was already like bleeding out, but he was like, oh, y'all gotta finish the mission and shit like that. So then he crashed in. That was tough.
Yeah.
That was really tough. And then Emil, of course, just gets fucked up by
The
elites.
rawest motherfucker though was definitely Noble 6.
Noble 6, and he said one line out of the whole game. He said one line. That final battle, survive, bro. It's just survive. So Brandon, so
One
if you
word.
don't know, is so of course, Halo Reach was the beginning before even Master Chief had gotten into like the Halo universe. So they had Spartans, and they were like the first 6, right?
No, Noble 6 was like the most lethal team.
Yeah.
Like they were sent in for like the worst like Spartan jobs, like assassinations, like anything like that.
So they went in, and the last mission you're playing as Noble 6 the whole time. Last mission says survive, but it's just like an endless round.
It's like playing
Covenant is
zombies.
just supposed to come at you and just try to kill you. So you're meant to die out of that. Like no matter how, like you can go back and play it. You can play as long as you want, but you're always gonna end up dying. And so at the end, the
thing
final
is,
battle,
it's not even based on like you actually like sustaining enough damage. It's gradually over time as you get shot, you start like losing. Like you'll like watch your helmet like crack and everything like that.
yeah,
And you're like fighting, and then at the end,
he takes off the helmet.
once you finally take enough damage, he just gets like jumped by like 3 elites.
But he's taking the bro. Like I mean, it takes a while. Like dude, he's fucking them up. He has like 2 guns in one hand. He gets jumped.
Fighting
Still
for his
fucks
fucking
it
life.
up, and then he ends up dying,
Yeah.
of course. But I think it fades before they actually kill him. But you know that he
I
dies.
think you see like, because you're watching it from like a third person perspective, because he takes his helmet off and he like puts it on the ground, and so you're watching from like the helmet cam, and so you just see like the feet of like him like fighting for his life, and then the elites are just like walking over the helmet and stuff to get to him and like fuck him up, and he's just like pow pow, you know, he's fucking
And
shooting
then,
him
like, and the dialogue of it is kind of saying that, like, without your help, we wouldn't. It's basically like saying, like Master Chief wouldn't be able to have Cortana and like his AI and stuff like that. Then of course we got Halo 4 after that. Halo 4 was, but not as bad as Halo 5. Let's
I can kind of appreciate Halo 5 more.
really.
But just because I got to see that little inbred Locke get his shit kicked
Yeah, he
in.
got shit fucked up, bro. So that happened.
Master Chief whooped his motherfucking ass, and it was so worth it. Because you're supposed to like be like, oh, like, yeah, I'm hunting Master Chief with these people, as if I haven't played the other games and like have years of like love and appreciation for this character. Now I'm hunting him to bring him back so he can eliminate Cortana. Like, no, absolutely not. And so just getting to see Master Chief solo like 5 Spartans that are like a team specifically made to get him is the funniest thing on the planet, man. Just watching, because they have this like armor lock device, and they're like trying to get it on Master Chief for the life of them. And he's fighting them off, and then he's just, fuck it, and he grabs it and he puts it on lock, and so you just see the spot like spasm, and he's just stuck there, and then the other ones got their ass kicked already, so they can't do anything.
That's why he's Chief, man. And again, like I feel like in video games franchise, we see that Master Chief, like we see why he's top dog, why he's been doing this for so many years to go out there. If anything, big dog, big nuts. See, like
what in the world?
But then recently, and I mean very, very recently, we finally got Halo Infinite, which in a sense it's redemption. Redemption for what most people would say what we have gotten the past of like just shit Halos, which really brought it back up to a really good campaign and an open world Halo, which makes the game very interesting. Because I think a lot of people just really like the urge of open world type stuff. I mean, wouldn't you say, like, in my opinion, the game that I used to play a lot, if it wasn't Halo, I'd always be playing Assassin's Creed. Like the Assassin's Creed games because of just the open world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you ever gonna take for Assassin's Creed?
I think, which one was the one with the revolution? I think 3, right?
The French Revolution?
No, the American Revolution.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 3?
Yeah, that's 3.
It was,
that's the only good Assassin's Creed in my opinion.
Really? Wow! You are gonna get a lot of hate.
Yeah, I don't, because for me it was like, the game was like so easy to cheese. Like it didn't feel right playing it for me.
Wow.
And at least like with the 3 storyline, I was like fully invested. And then the only one after that was kind of comparable to me was Black Flag.
Again, yeah, but a lot of people actually like that. But again, it's more of a pirate game rather than an assassin game, as you could say, which is really cool from a different insight because you always play. It's always just been the same shit over and over again.
We should just sweep the modern ones under the rug.
Yeah. Actually, you know, I could say that Black Flag, my brother Wyatt, he loves that game. He say it's probably like the best one he likes. I say so we had Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. That was the whole Ezio series, which in my opinion, Brotherhood is the best Assassin's Creed. And Ezio is the best assassin, I believe, because in multiple games they reference back to him because they know that like he's the one that. Well, I mean, we know that Altair in the first one was, you know, he helped like build the foundation, but then the downfall of the assassin, Ezio brought it up and continued the line, making sure of it. I love Ezio a lot. I mean, even to the point where he's the only one they remastered of the trilogy. I mean, that's gotta mean something inside the Assassin's Creed franchise. We know that the main character in it is a man named Desmond. Rest in peace to Desmond. He does die in Assassin's Creed 3. It was for a stupid sacrifice, honestly. I don't think he really thought it through, but
it's like the Titanic shit where he could have fit on.
Oh, you know what? It really was it was during that year where 12-12-12 was a thing, right?
Yeah.
Holy crap. That was Assassin's Creed 3. I totally forgot about that. That is really crazy how, you know, our modern day Mayan view put into a video game. That's dope. So yeah, then Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed 3 was great. Yeah. I really liked it. It was a fantastic game, especially because just America.
Yeah.
America. So we had that, but also I want to say that we also had we had Black Flag, and then after Black Flag was something else. I think Black Flag was Assassin's Creed Unity. That's when Next Gen consoles came out.
Yeah.
That, I don't care what anyone says, you should not love that game. You should not appreciate that game. Unity is the worst Assassin's Creed game I've ever played in my fucking life. Like, Jesus Christ, the game is glitchy. They tried to implicate multiplayer into it, which was the most shit thing ever. You don't get to customize your own assassin. You are, I think his name is Arno in the game. Every single player is Arno when you're playing in multiplayer. It's so stupid that it's the worst one.
Let's be real here. If they were given the option, everyone would just play Ezio. Let's be real.
No, for real. I mean,
it wouldn't be much different. Nah. You can't diss them for that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But I mean, I made it seem that like, oh, you'll be able to like make it new and stuff like that and all this stuff. The French Revolution, of course. I mean, they always mix in history in the games. They always have to like that's their MO of what Assassin's Creed really is. Yeah. Like, they also did the prequel to. The prequel to Assassin's Creed 3 / the sequel to Assassin's Creed Black Flag. They made Assassin's Creed Rogue, which we see. Well, the very first game as a whole you play as a Templar in, and that was just the first. I guess like the last game that we got of Assassin's Creed on old gen, which was Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, of course. That was a great intake of it. I think his name was Shay. Great thing. Which at the end of the game, it leads on to Unity, which that's the only cool part about Unity. But Assassin's Creed is still going for a long time, which I think like how much more.
Respect that company.
No, they keep on doing it. It's just how much more can they really put on? Because they've done Assassin's Creed Syndicate was the Industrial Revolution in England, which. Honestly, that's a really good game. I don't know if you guys ever played it. It has they're twins in the game, and I thought ever since the whole little gap from Assassin's Creed 3, I thought that one was the best next one. They had Assassin's Creed Origins. I never played it.
That's the Roman one.
No, Egyptian.
Which one's the Roman?
Or Odyssey. They say that that's a beautiful game, but it's so fucking long that like very few just like it's just too much gameplay.
I played that game for like an hour and then I just dropped it. It was like there is no point to continuing this shit.
I definitely
it was
see that.
With that, and then it's because they changed that combat system, and everything was just like completely geared towards like those shitty ass like MMOs I think they're called, where it's just like. Oh yes, I grinded for 8 hours and my weapon does 2 more damage.
Yeah, like
it's like at that point, like, why are you playing, man? Like I hate games like that, where it's just like a complete waste of time and like nothing you do is ever worth it because it's just 2 more damage or whatever. Or like you're grinding and all it does is the weapon is like slightly faster by like a fucking like nanosecond or something. And everyone that plays these games religiously are like, oh, I'm so hyped and shit, and you're watching it and it's like, this gun, like, if you're watching this, like, from any perspective at all, there's no difference. It does the exact same thing.
Very much so.
And it's like, I don't understand the point towards those kind of games, and they geared those new Assassins.
Exactly, that's what they're doing with it now, especially with the most recent one, Valhalla, and again, I didn't really hear that much about it, but again, Assassin, the way that they're doing it, I know that what's the company? Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Ubisoft. They made a game called For Honor, which is Vikings, samurais, and knights. And once they made that game, they just interpreted it into the Assassin's Creed game to make it not really Assassin's Creed-esque anymore.
I wouldn't even say that, man.
What would you say?
It's more like them trying to like rip off Mortal Kombat in a way, instead of like Assassin's Creed, you know. I would say if anything it's more attuned to like Destiny. Like
just gear upgrade.
Just Destiny without guns. That's the new Assassin's Creed format pretty much.
We can actually talk about a Destiny-esque game me and Brandon are familiar with, which a lot of hate gets towards this game. Me and Brandon have actually been playing this game for a while. Just because we're nerds like that. Josh has seen me play a little bit last semester, but Marvel's Avengers. Brandon, do you want to?
God. I don't even know where to start with that game. First of all, it just came out and it just wasn't well received. It was definitely not a complete game when it came out. There were so many problems still going on with it. Spider-Man was announced to come out like a month or 2 after the release of the game, and we just got Spider-Man
about a month ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And this game has been out for like what, 2 years?
Fuck yeah. Shoot, yeah, almost 2 years already.
Almost 2 years.
Fucking hell. I remember maybe a year.
Maybe a year.
It went a little over a year. Yeah. I just remember the only reason I got it because I'm a Marvel nerd, and I hope that most can appreciate it.
Of course, yeah, Marvel. World, it was the way they advertised it just seemed like so much better.
But it did get a lot of hate already from the gun because of the game design.
Yes.
From the way, especially a lot towards Captain America. He just looked like
his shoulder pads. For some reason, they made him bulky. They gave him like thick vesting on his.
Josh went to go sneeze right now. He's having his allergies act up.
Caesar season, baby.
We've all been there. Caesar season.
Caesar season. Take your allergy pills, guys.
Character design. I mean,
I like the Hulk.
The Hulk
because you can just.
He's just giant.
I like Thor.
Thor has a pretty unique design. Iron Man just looks like 10
Don't you only play Kate Bishop?
Well, Kate Bishop's pretty OP
Chill.
in that shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Kate Bishop is good.
So
Black Widow's good. Black Widow's my main.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I say, what was my main before? I think it was, I used Captain America a lot, right?
You were using Captain America.
Yeah.
And then Kate Bishop came out and then.
Yeah. I would say you can upgrade pretty fast. That game is
upgrade pretty fast. Yeah.
And besides from Destiny, Brandon hasn't played Destiny.
I never played.
It takes a while. You have to do a lot of Destiny to kind of just gear upgrade and stuff like that. For Avengers, it's really easy to upgrade. But I mean, it's the same. Like literally, you're playing Destiny with superheroes. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I say also that I'm not gonna lie, and people don't make fun of me whenever I say this. I did spend a lot of money when the Avengers game did come out.
How much we talking here?
So I got
the pre-order.
I spent almost close to $90 whenever it came out because it said you get a whole bunch of shit with it, and it said it was guaranteed that you get Spider-Man later on. Coming into February, it never came into February.
It never came into February.
Isn't it just a PS5 exclusive now? Like that's how you get Spider-Man. It's not even like money
it's
or
a
anything.
PlayStation exclusive.
It's PlayStation exclusive, so that's what
Xbox,
it is. That's why I got it on PlayStation.
So you spent $90 for nothing.
For nothing for a while, and then we
finally
got
got
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
My friend.
Oh my
God. Showing me that shit is awful. His web slinging is the worst thing
the
ever.
Fortnite Spider-Man
Fortnite Spider-Man is 10 times better
than the swing.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Did you guys like look closely into like his like web shooting animation where it's literally just?
We haven't.
We
We saw him come out, and I think. No.
Fuck no. I mean, we
as much as we love Spider-Man, they did him so
he had to reload. I mean, I know
he had to reload his web shooter.
Like, I mean, I know
every 20 shots.
Yeah, in the Spider-Man game, like PS4 Spider-Man. Amazing game. We'll get back into that in a second.
We're gonna talk about that.
But you just like you start shooting webs, your web shooters go down, but it comes in regenerative is like
he never has to sit there
and like kind of like dude,
take out
he's
his web
reloading a
shooters and
fucking gun, and that's the dumbest thing that is it Square Equinox?
Square Enix.
Square Enix. That's what it is. Fuck you guys. You ruined it.
You had a good thing going, and
you really
so
like
hype for it.
messed it up. They've done great on other games too. That's the thing. And then whenever they took this, they just ruined everything for me for a PlayStation superhero game in general. The fucking Lego games are better than this game.
They are.
Like what the hell? Me and Brandon. This is how much a disappointment it was. Me and Brandon are very high Spider-Man fans. Yes.
I have no desire to play that Spider-Man.
I have no. We said we're gonna grind this game until Spider-Man comes out. One Spider-Man, we're gonna main him. We played him once, never mained him.
Never. That's just how bad it is. That's the only reason we're playing that game is because Spider-Man's gonna come out.
Yeah.
We need to grind. We need to get all the shit for it. And
they fixed some stuff in it. The game does grow on you because we just use it kind of just like for fun shit.
Yeah, when you use it to have fun, you're not playing it like me and you just will hop on there and we'll just like do a couple missions or whatever. That's fine. But like, I could not sit there and play that for story. That's enough story. It's another thing.
Shortest
every other character you had when who got released first?
It was Kate Bishop.
when Kate Bishop was released,
Clint.
Hawkeye was released,
And then
Black
Black Panther.
they each had their own
Oh,
like
story
little
mode.
event story mode that you had to go through. Spider-Man, they straight up just
They made it a fucking comic strip,
yes.
and that's all we fucking got.
There
You
was
got no detail.
no story, no nothing. They put the character in there. They said, "Oh, by the way, to unlock him, go talk to him on the ship." That's how you got the character. Every other character, you got them by advancing through the story.
No.
You play as them.
No,
That's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in a video game. Is that he's on the ship, which the ship for those of you guys that haven't played the game, it's kind of like just like a headquarters, I guess. That's like a little like a lobby area, I guess. And you can just walk around. You can do training on the ship, but there's like you have to go interact with a certain area, and then Spider-Man is just there.
That's just lazy development.
That is. That's just poor planning.
I know they're still trying to do some more development in the game. I know we had heard that they're adding more characters very soon.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe again, I don't think there's really redemption for the game, but I mean, we'll just play it just for fun. I mean, just for shits and giggles and all this stuff. I guess what would you, Josh? What would you call those games? Like the ones where you just gear upgrade and stuff like that.
Such as RPG.
MMORPGs.
Something like that.
They are.
I mean, did you besides like Avengers and I guess just going to the sense back to Destiny, drop my pen. But did you like Destiny? The first one was great.
The first one was okay.
You like the second one better?
The second one is awful.
Yeah, the second one's terrible.
It's literally just like kind of bad, very bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's still bad, you know.
And I think it's just the raids made the first one very fun.
Destiny is only a fun experience if you're grinding with friends.
Yes.
And even then, it's just mind numbing because you're
You
sitting there
argue-
for hours.
If you think that chats in like with Call of Duty and Battlefield,
Nothing will ever be as toxic as those.
Yeah, but I mean, you get just as toxic playing these raids with people that you know because they say
I would
you
say
need this.
over that, Destiny is more akin to like heisting on GTA 5 because like if you die and it
Everyone's,
costs
oh yeah, you're right.
it's literally just like oh, it's your fault for dying. That's the general consensus for those of you who haven't played GTA 5
caught a whole bunch
because
of
your team
units.
only gets a certain number of lives for the entire heist. So if you die, especially if it's on hard mode where you get the most money, it just instant cancels the mission and you have to do everything over. So hours spent for nothing.
Exactly.
So it's universal that like if you die, no matter what the circumstance was, it's your fault.
The game really wants you to be perfect.
And that's akin to like how Destiny is. It's like, at least in terms of their lobbies, because it's like, it's just people being like kind of mean to each other over like the raid, and then that's it. Let's be real here. Nothing is ever going to top a COD or a Modern Warfare lobby ever.
Those lobbies, you become,
That is what men were forged.
You become men in those lobbies. You become great.
I have been called so many racial slurs, just like the most random, like out of the blue names that I could not even repeat on
You
this
never
thing.
expect it, and sometimes they even come from the younglings too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
themselves.
The worst insult I think that's tame that I've ever like heard was from a woman, and it was a guy just like railing on her for a while, and then she finally goes like, "I'm going to go fuck your dad and give him a son he will actually love."
Damn.
And that is COD in a nutshell. Like
Sounds
in an easy way. Like it's like anything that you say will immediately blow up into like an hour-long screaming match
Yeah.
on just who can be the worst human being. And I love it. I don't know about you guys. I indulge myself sometimes.
I say,
with
well,
COD
I
lobbies.
felt like that was more of like the old gens, right? Like PS
Easily, yeah.
Xbox 360.
Now you can
You
get
just-
your account suspended.
Yeah,
You
this
can-
and
oh,
that.
he said the F word to me.
Yeah, so like it's just, and you get just basically just quote unquote shunned, but just for fucking anything. But
Yeah.
that's why everyone's just always in their own little party. No one likes to talk in
Yeah.
the chats anymore. No one likes to
Why can't I use my gamer language?
Yeah.
Hardly see that.
I need to say the hard 24/7.
Damn.
Those
Nah,
people
that's
are
how
the
it is.
funniest thing,
That's how
man.
it is.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's just how all those are, and that's how people are. And again, like I mean, if you can take it, you can take it. If not, then you just
if
go.
not, don't play those games.
Exactly.
You're not gonna
bro.
last.
And
Turn off chat. Turn off.
it also goes on to just like other games too. Like even like I know where you have to work together for like Rainbow Six. Even comes to like
Rainbow is a
Rainbow.
special place.
it's a different place.
Yes.
Dog, my favorite thing, because my favorite game of all time is Red Dead 2.
Okay.
Like, just story based and everything, but playing online in that game is so fucking funny, man. Like, so many times people just go out of their way to, like, be racist just to try to fit the time period.
The time period, yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar, but they used to literally have, like, people dress their online characters in, like, full white and do, like, KKK meetings.
Damn.
And, like, hunt down black players.
They actually do have.
Yeah.
They actually do have.
That was a big thing for a while. That was very controversial. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was around when I stopped, because multiplayer was kind of garbage.
Yeah, multiplayer. I heard
It was
that
unfinished.
It's not.
That's literally why events like that happened. Was like
there are a few.
they failed the
They
online
allowed
scene,
that
and they
happen.
There are
just
a
like
few,
left people to their own devices.
KKK like missions in the story mode as well, right?
Yes, but it's so you can kill them for honor.
Yeah.
Which the story mode on that game is fucking untouchable. There is nothing. The only thing I could compare it to is probably God of War. If anyone's played those games,
God of War is amazing.
That's one of my favorite games of all time,
Man,
easily.
Especially, are you excited for the new one coming out?
Absolutely.
that's going to be a great adventure for everyone to come on to. Especially just like the most recent one that we had gotten, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very heartwarming, heartfelt.
It's nice to see Kratos like kind of mellowed out now.
Exactly. I mean, he's old as fuck. Well, I mean, he's always been old as fuck, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like he's old as fuck now.
Well, it's like it's such a nice little contrast because you get to actually see like development with him. You know, like he used to just be like this violent, like, oh, I hate everything, mind you, for good reason. But you know, then you go into these new games, it's more like because he finally settled down and trusted himself to have a family again. You just get to see like him kind of like mellow out. You know, the story's about spreading his wife's ashes at her home.
That's a long journey, though.
Yeah,
it's a very long journey.
It's a very long journey.
But
you're in for, I think, what was it, like 50-something hours of gameplay for just the story, not even if you 100% it.
But it's worth it. It's actually really
Absolutely
worth
worth
it,
it.
especially for the lead up to the next game as well.
Yeah.
And that next game, you know, man.
Going through, people were like, no, it's not going to happen. And then it was originally like a hidden Easter egg because nobody was like going back to the house after the game because there's no point, there's no items in there.
Yeah.
And then someone just walked in, and then you get to see this cutscene from the future of like Kratos and Atreus like asleep. And then they wake up to this massive storm out of nowhere.
You go outside
And then Kratos is just like, oh, what's happening? Like, get out of here, boy. Like, it's not safe. And then they open the door, and you just see this guy in like a cloak. And so they run out, and they're like, who are you? Like, what are you doing here? And then you just see him toss the cloak back over his hip, and you see Mjolnir with like lightning going down it. And then it just cuts, and that's the scene.
Fans went crazy when they figured that out, man.
Beautiful.
That was crazy. So like, I know you probably shit yourself whenever that.
I was screaming.
That's crazy.
Because now we might be able to see like modern Kratos in a style of like, well, time to kill everything again.
Yeah.
You know, because that was like the God of War 3 is easily the best God of War game.
And I know recently, whenever we've had our talks before in the past, but actually, you said before that actual Thor, not what we have in Marvel,
Oh yeah,
is way powerful than what we actually have.
Yeah.
in current Marvel, yes.
Okay.
If we're talking Rune King Thor, that's of course, you know, out of pocket. There's no comparison. But if we're going through with like modern Thor, where it's just fucking Goldilocks with a missing eye now, you know, then it's then original Thor easily.
Yeah.
You know, no chance, because that motherfucker. A lot of people were sleeping because they're going with the classic mythological Thor instead of the Marvel one.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, oh, he's not blonde and muscular, you know.
Thor's just fat.
Yeah, he's
He drinks.
He's girthy. He's a redhead. He's got like the gloves of power and the girdle, so he can actually lift Mjolnir. It's not just like, oh, you shall be worthy. It's actually like in actual mythology, the Mjolnir isn't actually like enchanted. It's just literally so fucking heavy that no one can lift it except Thor with enchanted gloves to give him strength. And so it's literally just that. But they're going through and it's like, this motherfucker mythologically, literally like, I think lifted like the entire planet because he was tricked into thinking that the world serpent was like a fucking, I think a cat, I think was the myth. Because they like enchanted, and then literally because he did that, and like Loki and some other guy were there, I forget his name, but they were going to Jotunheim to like talk to giants or whatever, and the guy was literally like, you were so fucking terrifying after seeing all of you do this that we are just going to like banish you from this realm, and we're never coming to your place, you're not coming to our place, we are absolutely no contact, fuck you. And they just immediately left.
That's
and so they were like, yeah, we respect you, dude, just get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
I get it. You're strong.
Real respect, real. You're valid.
Yeah.
And I honestly just really like mythological just things in general. I really think, I mean, especially like putting it in video games, it really makes it really spectacular. So
Absolutely.
like, instead of like reading it out of like a book. I mean, we know the stories and all that, but to actually put it in, I think God of War has actually done an amazing job.
Absolutely.
I guess while we're into that, I guess, you know, for most people that don't know, and you know, I mean, you honestly should know for gamers out there, God of War is a PlayStation exclusive. We can go on to like another subject while we come closer towards the end of PlayStation exclusive. Me and Brandon's one of our favorite games that I've been trying to get Josh to actually play it. Spider-Man PS4.
PS4 Spider-Man.
When
Marvel's Spider-Man.
That's I think as of right, it's for it being such a new game, and we see like the build up of God of War. Would you kind of say that God of War is kind of PlayStation's gem?
Absolutely.
It's yeah.
Easily.
Spider-Man has kind of is climbing up there
Yeah.
because of how.
Spider-Man's
Let's be real here though. It's not gonna get past that.
I don't think it will, but I mean
it's there.
it's getting
I
there.
can respect
Especially
that it's
like
there.
we see.
depends on how this
I would
next
say
one goes.
PlayStation's gems are definitely God of War, Uncharted, for
Uncharted
sure,
is a big one.
and definitely the new Spider-Mans that's
Yes.
coming
They're
out.
trying to push
I respect
Horizon to be like one of those faces, but I just don't
It's
think
not
it
gonna
doesn't
happen.
have that traction. I'm really excited for it though. I played the first Horizon. That was really.
I actually haven't. So
the
again,
next one, the new one's coming out.
the only reason I had actually gotten I played PlayStation 2 in the past, just because actually I can actually show you the reason why I actually got PlayStation 2 is this little gem right here.
Oh.
For y'all that can't see it, but I'm showing the camera right now. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Classic and the best Dragon Ball Z game ever. This is actually a really rare game. My friend actually got this for me at a store in San Antonio called Propaganda Palace, where they have a whole bunch of gems of games, but there are only a very few copies of this game in the world. They were selling this for $100. My friend bought it to me and gave it to me. So
You bought it for $100?
I bought it for $100.
Wow.
And
Dedication.
that's dedication right here to finally find it. But this is a gem as well. But again, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Damn.
Circle back.
Whatever. I mean, but PlayStation. The PlayStation 2. I didn't get another PlayStation until PlayStation 4 because Spider-Man. I only got it for Spider-Man. Okay, and my MO now is that the only time I hop on PlayStation is for PS games.
Right.
Josh sneezed again.
Bless you.
But man, Brandon, we had one hell of a ride with Spider-Man. Game.
We have been. Since like that was first teased, I think we were sitting there waiting for. We waited. How long did we wait for that game?
It was 2 years.
A couple of years for it.
2 years
for that to come out.
And all that we got of it was there was one little scene
story.
of the design.
Right.
Right, and
The one where
we saw a beautiful advanced suit costume with a mixture of Tom Holland's eyes, and Andrew's
Spider
in the front,
It's
and
supposed to be,
then Toby Spider on the back,
Right.
which is a good mixture and callback. And if I'm not wrong, the voice actor for it is, I think his name is Yuri.
Yuri Lowenthal.
Yes, what a dude. And the face of Peter, before they remastered it, I honestly thought that the face of Peter Parker was great. I actually liked it. The storyline.
It's the idea, honestly, in my opinion, it's the ideal one. The new one, the remastered one, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
But I think the original one, the original guy, it's got the ideal. Like when I think of Peter Parker,
That's what it is. But that story really grabs you into it. A lot of twists and turns. We see the development of villains that we know, villains that come into the past. A lot of collectibles in the game. New York built as New York. We don't really see that much detail in the past Spider-Man games that we've had, but they finally did that with this. And you really feel the game, especially I'm not gonna say it because I really recommend that a lot of people go in, and again Josh as well, play the Spider-Man PlayStation game because you will feel emotions you have never felt before. Especially if you are a true Spider-Man fan, you will feel this game on a different
any kind of superhero fan in general.
Exactly.
You're gonna feel something.
This is, and I might need a little controversy because a lot of people really think that the Arkham series for Batman is great, but that's beautiful game. But Spider-Man, in my opinion, is honestly the best superhero story arcs in video game history.
That's a bold claim.
I want y'all to listen.
It
is.
I can agree to that.
I love this game with a passion. I've played it over maybe 5 times over and over again. Even like going with collectibles.
100%.
As you said for other games, untouchable, I believe. And what also made it was the next Spider-Man game, Miles Morales.
By being honest, that one.
That's a short one, but it was good.
It could have been. It's really weird because I think it's too long to be like a DLC of the first game, but I think it's a little too short to have been its own game. Yeah. But I guess I don't see another way they could have done that, especially.
But it worked out. Spider-Man Miles Morales is also a good must-play.
Nice little setup for.
Well, we're getting 2023, which I will buy a PlayStation 5 by that time just for.
That will be a PS5 exclusive.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
That game. Well, I mean, we haven't really seen that much, but we do know that they made. But Major Venom.
We do know Venom is gonna be in there.
I'm gonna have a controversial opinion. I'm not excited to see Kraven.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people aren't excited to see Kraven. And
People don't really know Kraven.
There are so many better Spider-Man villains out there.
Again,
this might be a hot take.
We also do think that he's going to be like just that villain that gets in the way just for no reason.
Well, that's always how Kraven is. It's always like, yeah, I'm here. And then he gets his ass kicked, and then it's the actual villain. That's always how Kraven is.
He's a little warm-up for
yeah,
Spider-Man.
Literally, every time.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. But since we're on the topic of Spider-Man, we notice, we want to say, since we're getting close to the end of our podcast already, we do want to say, shout out all of Spider-Man, and we're saying this for a reason. Shout out, should I say?
Hey, it hasn't been 3 months, bro. You gotta give him time.
You gotta give him time. Well, I just want to say shout out Tom Holland.
That's the average rule for movies and stuff.
Shout out Tom Holland for being our recent Spider-Man now. As we get
performance that he gave acting wise.
Absolutely.
In No Way Home.
No Way Home, great. The reason we are mentioning this as well because our next review, next episode will be of. Finally, I feel like people we actually never gave our own review. We usually do this on Snapchat whenever we go see superhero movies, but I know a lot of people ask me, "Where's the review?" Well, finally that we have set up this podcast, next episode we will finally give you our full. I say the beginning, no spoilers. Halfway through the podcast, spoiler review. We would really appreciate if y'all want to tune in and say because we really have a lot of stuff to say about that movie.
We're probably gonna do the whole episode about.
Just that review. We're not gonna be jumping over the place like we usually do, but that one will be focusing just on that. And since we're talking about just Tom Holland in general too, he actually is coming out with another. I guess he kind of mixed in with the video game PlayStation exclusive Uncharted. Just before I guess we kind of leave out. Video game movies haven't been so successful so far.
I'm kind of excited for the Uncharted one because they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
They're like following the video game formula. You
Yeah.
know, so it's not going to be a flop like Resident Evil, I would guess.
Resident Evil, but flop like the Tomb Raider, flop like the Assassin's Creed. I mean, again, like right now hasn't really showed great results. But you know, we're hoping for something good to see Tom Holland in it as well. But that comes out February 17th, and we'll do our own review of the game and the movie whenever we come to that part. But I hope you guys are ready for our Spider-Man review because we're really excited.
We are really excited for that one.
Yes.
It's one we've been looking forward to.
But that's our little spiel. I know there's a lot of video games in the world. Video games have always inspired many people just to have fun whenever you don't really want to go outside. You stay in your room, watch TV, do all these things that you usually can't just do in the real world. And I mean, I guess if y'all can agree with me, it's really kind of like shaped us of who we are now.
Absolutely.
We've really gotten great story arcs that we don't usually get from movies because movies can't do it. Stuff from shows that video games, they have an endless idea for it being digitally, you know?
I know, I would not be a nerd at all without video games.
Same here.
I wouldn't even know what comics were until I played Ultimate Alliance growing up, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess going out, we just want to, give it like a little shout out, Xbox, PlayStation, Wii, or like, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, am I missing anything? Just those really big ones right there.
Yeah.
So thank y'all for giving us a real big childhood. I don't know if you guys will ever listen to this podcast, but we just know we are eternally grateful for you giving us the source material that y'all have.
I speak for a lot of people. Say that one, yeah. Thank you guys for...
Especially, you don't even have to be a diehard video game fan. You just know that these have special places in your hearts for you to have that inner child come out. Right. We like to thank Josh again. Thank you for joining us again. We will definitely bring Josh back in future episodes because we do like to hear what he has to say.
I got a couple hot takes, so we'll have to go over a couple of those.
Again, on this podcast, we like to do our own opinions and give our own controversy of all this stuff. And we would also like to hear y'all's opinions about what y'all think about every single, either it has to go on with superheroes, anime, video games, and we just hope that, you enjoy what we have to say, and we really would enjoy what y'all have to say. Me and Brandon are very welcome with having guests on the show. So if you guys would like to join us on any type of episode, just random, and if you guys would like to listen to any type of episode that we would go over, me and Brandon are more than welcome to get our sources together and really go over everything that we got.
We set up some socials, so if you want to, feel free to message us. Yeah, we just set them up. You can message us, DM us, give us suggestions about things you want us to talk about, things you want to hear, or whatever. You can put in any kind of recommendation. Honestly, we're open for anything.
We're open. I mean, we'll definitely get back to you on all that. Again, YouTube coming very soon, but Spotify. We'll be adding links to every single thing that we do, and we're really enjoying this so far. Me and Brandon really appreciate all the support that we're getting so far, and we just want to keep on growing and hope to give back to the community just our voice, and just hope that we get to be heard.
Just a little something.
A little something. So thank you so much for tuning in for this episode, and we will see you next time.
Next week, yeah.
I'm Nene.
I've been Brandon,
and we'll see y'all later.